everyone, and welcome back. This is Mindy Egan for Hero Arts. In today's video, I'm going to introduce you to the My Monthly Hero Kit for July 2021. I'm going to be creating one card from start to finish. I'll give you some ideas how to use the kit on its own and also combining it with some additional products from this month's release. The kits from Hero Arts are always jam-packed with goodies to create tons of cards. So this month we have a large 6x8 stamp set featuring some really great images of gnomes and fairies and little elements to create your scene. Also with some really fun sentiments like you are fairy kind, there's no place like home or gnome depending on your image. There is also 18 coordinating frame cuts. In this kit, you'll also be getting 3 dye inks, and these are in the mini ink cubes featuring Green Hills, Soft Purple, and Pale Tomato. There is some mushroom washi tape and Stardust sequence. Now here's a closer look at the products in the kit. You could see mine is well loved. I was playing with some different ideas. This is the Stardust sequence, which is beautiful. They're like iridescent stars. And then for the washi tape, you can use this to decorate your card. I love using washi tape, especially when it coordinates, by using it on my envelopes. So that's always a really fun way to use up your washi tape. I'm going to start off my first card by doing some ink blending. So I have some Dove-White cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm ink blending on Pool Party ink, which is a reactive ink. The reactive inks are really fun to use, especially when using some sort of like magical background because they are reactive to water, and I will show you that in just a moment. My second color I'm ink blending on is the Blue Raspberry, and then I'm topping it off with Purple Galaxy. And I do go back over my colors quite a bit to make sure that there's kind of a seamless blend in there. And I'm just using a sponge dauber or a sponge foam blending tool to do the ink blending. I like to use the foam when I'm doing an entire background, and I like using the blending brushes when I want more of a softer look. Once this is all ink blended, I am going to just spritz some clean water onto my glass surface, pick that up with a paintbrush, and just sprinkle that all over my background. And I use 2 different size brushes. I have a small brush, and then I bring in a bigger brush to have bigger speckles on the background, and I'm going to let that dry for a moment. Now, I am a huge fan of Heroscapes, so I thought the Meadow Heroscape would match perfectly with this month's kit. You can certainly use the kit on its own, but I think these are just so great together. I'm starting with stamping that base layer in Fresh Lawn ink, and then I'm going to bring in the second layer with Pine. And I am stamping this actually multiple times off screen, just in different colors you'll see in a moment. But the Pine is just a darker one, and I stamped that about 2 or 3 times. Now this particular background here, that bright green, is Green Apple and Fresh Lawn. And then for the flowers, or the third layer of my stamp image, I'm using a few variety of the ombre inks. This one is Pink to Red. I also stamped this third layer in Ombre Tide Pool to Navy and Ombre Hydrangea. So just depending on kind of the feel of my backgrounds, I just wanted to have a variety of colors for these flowers. Now, once I have all of these backgrounds stamped and die cut out, I'm going to work on a focal point on my background. I wanted to have a moon for this. So I die cut out one of the infinity circles using some Masking Magic, which is just a masking paper. You could also die cut it from just regular cardstock and temporarily adhere that to your background. But the Masking Magic is really great because it's not going to rip your paper. Then I placed that onto my card, and I'm ink blending on Orchid ink, and I'm using a blending brush to do this, starting from the center and blending out. I just want to have a really light hue of color around my moon. Now I don't go too far out with that color either. I just want to have just that light ring around the moon, and I'm going to carefully remove that masking paper with my tweezers. Now you're going to see this kind of gets lost in the background a little bit. So I'm going to bring in the reactive sea salt ink and my blending foam tool. And I'm just doing light circles right in the middle. That's going to lighten it up a little bit. I like using the reactive sea salt versus the unicorn pigment ink because it's not as bright. It's just really soft and helps set that moon aside from the background. Now this is where you're going to start seeing how well the Meadow Heroscape and the kit match up this month. I lined up my Meadow Heroscape in the background, and some images from the kit. And I'm just using that as a placeholder to be able to put my sentiment and some additional images. So these are the silhouette of the fairies from the Metal Heroscape. And I love silhouette images, especially on blended backgrounds. So once those are lined up, I'm inking them in VersaFine ink. I'm going to let that dry for just a moment because VersaFine ink stays wet for a little longer. Once that's dry, I'm going to pop up my Metal Heroscape with some foam tape that's going to add a little bit of dimension and separate my background from my Metal Heroscape. Then I can bring in my mushroom house and my little tree stump. I'm adding just a little bit of foam tape to the top of the mushroom, and the rest I'll adhere with my tape runner. And for the tree stump, I'm going to have that hanging off the edge a little bit, so I'll apply that with a tape runner. Flip this over and just trim off any of the excess. Now, also in the kit is that beautiful Stardust sequence, and they are tiny, so I just put them in a little embellishment tray, and I am picking them up with an embellishment wand and just placing little dots of glue and attaching those little Stardust sequins. This just kind of helps add that magical touch to the front of the card. And that's going to finish off this card, combining the kit with the Metal Heroscape. If you don't have the Metal Heroscape, you could always maybe use some stencils. If you have some grassy stencils, I think would look really great with this as well. You can find all of these supplies and more inspiration over on the Hero Arts blog and pick up your supplies at heroarts.com. And now I'm going to be showing you some inspiration from the design team where they used the July 2021 My Monthly Hero Kit. Now, also keep in mind that the My Monthly Hero Kits are limited in quantity, which means that once they are sold out, they are not restocked. This is for the kits only. So if you haven't subscribed to the kits, it is a great idea to subscribe to them. That will ensure that you never miss another kit. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.